On the surface, the AI war looks like a shouting match. You've got Google showing off its Gemini AI everywhere, powering some pretty wild features on its Pixel phones and across all its apps. Samsung is aggressively packing Galaxy AI into every new phone it can. And then there's Apple. Apple's big reveal of Apple Intelligence felt different, didn't it? Almost quiet. It was practical, sure, but it wasn't the show-stopping, mind-blowing demo a lot of us were expecting, and it's got everyone asking the same question. Is Apple losing the AI race? But what if that quiet isn't weakness? What if Apple is fighting a different war entirely? A secret war for AI dominance that has nothing to do with flashy demos in the cloud, and everything to do with the chip in your pocket. This is the story of how Apple is quietly building an AI fortress, all based on its own powerful silicon and its iron grip on its ecosystem. This is how the company that looks like it's behind might actually be playing the long game to win it all. Section 1. The Tale of Two AI Philosophies. To get what's happening, you first have to understand the two completely different playbooks. It's the cloud versus the device. On one side, you have Google. Think of Google's AI approach as a vast public library. Its Gemini model is trained on a mind-boggling amount of data from the open internet. When you ask your phone a question, you're basically checking out a book from this giant library. It's incredibly knowledgeable and versatile. The upside, power and scale. The downside, your requests are handled by the librarian, Google, who is learning from every single question you ask. Then you have Apple. If Google's AI is a public library, Apple's is your own personal librarian. Apple's strategy, this Apple Intelligence, doesn't start in the cloud. It starts with the chip inside your iPhone. For years, Apple has been putting a special processor called the neural engine into its chips. Its only job is to run AI models efficiently, right there on your device. Apple Intelligence isn't designed to know everything in the world. It's designed to know everything about your world. It gets the context of your emails, your photos, your calendar, your texts. This is a librarian who knows your personal collection by heart and can make connections a public librarian never could. Now, Apple isn't clueless. They know some requests need more muscle than a phone can offer. For that, they built something called private cloud compute. If your request is a heavy lift, it gets sent to a secure server running on Apple's own silicon. But here's the masterstroke. It's designed so that Apple itself can't see your data. The info is processed and sent back, but never stored and never used to build a profile on you. It's like your personal librarian is stepping into a locked, private room to consult a reference book, and then immediately forgetting what they just read. Section 2. The Battleground of Features. So how does all this philosophy talk translate to features we can actually use? This is where it gets fun. Google's cloud-first approach delivers stuff that feels like straight-up magic. Features like Circle to Search feel futuristic. You draw a circle on anything, and Google tells you what it is. Its photo tools can rip objects out of pictures or create impossible scenes, all by tapping into the immense power of its cloud servers. A Pixel phone feels like a window into a giant, all-knowing brain. Apple's approach is more subtle, but deeply personal. Its power isn't in searching the internet, it's in searching you. For instance, you'll be able to ask Siri to pull up the photos of me and my mom from our beach trip last summer. It cross-references your photos, knows the people, and gets the context of last summer and beach without that question ever leaving your phone. It can summarize a long email chain from your boss and pull out the action items because it lives in your inbox. It can create Genmoji that look like your friends because it can see their pictures on your phone. While Google's AI is a spectacle, Apple's is a utility. It's meant to be woven into the fabric of the OS, just quietly working in the background to make things a little bit easier. This intelligence is rolling out across iPhone, iPad, and Mac for a consistent experience, though it hasn't been announced for the Apple Watch. Research highlight: this is the heart of Apple's secret war. They're betting that useful is better than flashy, and that private is better than public. So, we've got these two totally different philosophies clashing. You've got the huge, cloud-based knowledge of Google on one side, and the private, personal context of Apple on the other. If you're finding this breakdown interesting, do me a solid and hit that like button. And seriously, let me know in the comments, which approach are you leaning towards? Google's Cloud Brain or Apple's personal librarian? All right, let's get back to it. Section 3, the war machine. Hardware is the ultimate weapon. This brings us to Apple's real secret weapon, the one its rivals can't just copy. It's hardware. While Google and others were busy building bigger data centers, Apple was playing a different game entirely. For years, with every new iPhone, they've been shipping a more powerful neural engine. They haven't just been selling phones. They've been deploying a massive, distributed network of personal AI processors into hundreds of millions of pockets. Think about that scale. Apple doesn't need to build a data center for every user. The data center is already in your hand. This vertical integration, making the hardware and the software, is Apple's fortress. Recent reports put Apple's dominance of the premium smartphone market at over 60%, with a competitor like Samsung hovering around 17 to 20%. This gives Apple total control. They decide what the hardware can do, and they tune the software to squeeze every last drop of performance out of it. This is where the future of this war will be decided. While they haven't been announced, you can see the next moves pretty clearly. A hypothetical A19 Bionic chip in an iPhone 17 running an even smarter iOS 26 won't just be about opening apps faster. It'll be about dramatically expanding the kind of powerful AI that can run right there on your device. Each new chip is another brick in Apple's privacy-first fortress. While Google has to beg partners like Samsung to use its features, Apple can push its vision to hundreds of millions of people with a single software update. Section 4, the endgame. Who will dominate? So, who's actually winning this thing? The case for Google is obvious. Their pace of innovation is insane, and more importantly, you can see it. They roll out jaw-dropping features that make headlines. For anyone who just wants the most powerful, feature-packed AI today, and isn't too worried about how the sausage gets made, Google is tough to beat. They just have a data advantage for training general AI that Apple can't touch. But the case for Apple winning in the end comes down to one powerful word: trust. In a world where data breaches are normal and privacy feels like a luxury, Apple's sales pitch might just be the strongest in tech. The smartest AI is the one that protects your privacy. Apple is playing the long game. They're betting that as AI gets woven deeper into our lives, our trust in it will become the single most important factor. Their strategy isn't about winning one little battle over a flashy feature. It's a war of attrition. By baking a private, personal AI into the core of their OS, they make their ecosystem stickier than ever. People won't stay for the Genmoji. They'll stay because the entire system just gets them. And more importantly, they can trust it with their lives. So while Google is building one giant brain in the cloud, Apple is building millions of small, personal brains that only answer to their owners. Ultimately, this isn't just about which company has the bigger AI model. It's a fundamental war over what we even want artificial intelligence to be. Is it a godlike, all-knowing being in the cloud that serves everyone? Or is it a deeply personal, private, and loyal assistant that serves only you? Google is fighting a war of features, a sprint to see who can be the most impressive, the fastest. Apple is fighting a war of integration and trust, a marathon to see who can become the most indispensable. The battle lines are drawn: Google's spectacular cloud versus Apple's private device. This fight isn't just about what phone to buy next year. It's going to define our relationship with technology for the next decade. So, I'll ask you one last time. In this secret war for AI dominance, who are you betting on?